Hey everybody, it's the waitingfornextyear.com podcast. Draft Spectacular. Dave Sterling is here to my right.
Breaking news. I'm here to your right.
Breaking news. Yeah, so this isn't going to be like we're live podcasting the thing. Because
that's going to be exciting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no. So we're going to turn this thing on and off as you're listening to this, as we're recording this. The Browns have executed a trade with the number 8 pick. So we're going to talk about that real quick. Then we're going to not break down. Who are we to break anything down, Dave?
This is just like a hobby for me. I really don't have the time to break anything down.
So we're gonna amateurishly talk about the first 8 picks.
Much more appropriate.
That happened, and then we're gonna wait a little bit because the Browns. Spoiler alert: they moved down to 15.
If you recorded the draft and are watching it tonight or tomorrow morning, you're going to be disappointed because we spoiled it for you.
Yeah. So anyway, we did. We waited all the way till number 8. The Cleveland Browns traded it to Tennessee, which was a scenario that had been predicted. The Browns got number 15 in 2016. They got the Titans' 3rd round pick in 2016 and a 4th round in 2017. Is that correct?
A second round in
2017. Sorry.
It's a long con. It didn't knock my socks off, but I guess the Browns feel that the guy they want will still be there at 15.
Yeah, so they've got lots of picks. 15, 32, 65, 77, 99, and 100. And then, that gets us to the end of the 4th round. They've got 138. So the Browns still have a lot of picks. Obviously, we don't know which way they're going. At this point, you got to speculate moving down to 15 is a maneuver for Paxton Lynch?
That's a great question.
Or maybe the first wide receiver off the board? Maybe it's Laquan Treadwell?
That's who I'm hoping for. Again, this will be obsolete, my hope, by the time you listen to this. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping for Treadwell. All
right, so let's talk about something that won't be obsolete. The picks that have already happened.
Yes.
The Titans, we'll start with the Titans because they traded into the Browns slot at number 8, and they took offensive tackle from Michigan State, Jack Conklin. The pick itself is not exactly the weird part about that. No, it makes a lot of sense because they spent what, the number 2 pick last year on Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. I'm saying the pick isn't that it's Jack Conklin. The pick is that it's not Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil,
who needed a little bit of draft day advice from me, which is don't post a video of yourself taking a giant hit of a gas mask bong on draft night. Wait till the day after draft night.
Or do that if you want to get drafted by the Patriots in the 2nd round.
Wow. That is smokescreen. Wow, you learned that.
So let's go through the top of the draft. Obviously, not obviously, but it went exactly as everybody pretty much predicted. The Titans stayed on the clock for a very long time to pick Jared Goff.
Yeah, I don't know why.
The Rams, from the Titans, the Rams.
I don't know why they didn't just start off with, and we already know the first 2. Let's get on to pick 3.
But I couldn't figure out why they didn't do that like 2 weeks ago. There was no benefit to not just telling the Rams, telling us that they were taking Jared Goff.
I appreciate you saying the Rams.
So then the Eagles, who initially traded with the Browns, took the Browns from 2 to 8. They took Carson Wentz, like everybody knew or thought they knew.
Yep.
And then the first kind of maybe surprise, Joey Bosa goes to the Chargers.
Yes, and I don't want to offend any of our Ohio State fan listeners. That was a great thing for us at the Browns. I'm sorry,
but if you could just fillet Urban Meyer some more before you say anything.
Yes. Anyway, I am so glad that he went earlier. That way he was not there at the Browns and we didn't have to hear a bunch of people complaining about that.
I'm a big fan of Joey Bosa, Ohio State Buckeye player.
Yep.
Not a big fan of Joey Bosa, NFL draft prospect.
And that, my friend, is what you have to separate.
And I might be wrong. I'm just going on kind of a gut feel. And yeah, that's it. Just a gut feel. Didn't love the idea. I thought maybe Joey Bosa peaked already. I mean, because he was so good in college and he was so polished, it's just hard to imagine there's another gear there. But, obviously San Diego will find out.
My thought on the whole thing was, look at Houston. They have J.J. Watt, arguably the best player in the league, kind of filling that role on their defense, and they still weren't all that great.
But the Chargers do have a quarterback.
Yes, but...
For now.
But the Chargers, the Texans didn't lose every game 6-3.
No, but their offense was pitiful.
I know. I'm aware of that.
Ryan Mallett,
I'm aware of that.
Brian Hoyer and wait, who did they sign in the middle of the year?
I don't even remember. I wasn't paying attention. Once I was allowed to stop following Brian Hoyer here.
Then they cut Ryan Mallett for being a jerk and oversleeping and whatnot.
Yeah, missing the plane.
I can't even remember who they started towards. Brandon Weeden. No, that was Dallas. I'm getting my retreads confused.
Yeah.
No, but Brandon Weeden, didn't he finish his?
Didn't he finish there? Because we were all joking about that. We could hit pause and just look this up so we didn't sound so dumb.
Who wants to? It's
fine.
dumb.
I'll look it up right now.
All right. So after Joey Bosa, back-to-back Buckeyes, Ezekiel Elliott goes to the Cowboys, and
that one was almost as predictable as the first two picks. Really, it was mostly wishful thinking that wasn't going to happen.
And before we turned on the mics tonight, you and I talked about the fact that we both kind of reflexively go against Buckeyes.
Yeah.
But Ezekiel, because you have a tendency to overrate the team that you most closely watch, and I don't think you're a giant Buckeyes fan, but you're definitely inundated with Buckeye talk.
Oh, I have to hear it all, yeah. Even if Ezekiel Elliott wasn't very good, I knew...
Buckeyes fans.
Well, no, I'm saying I knew Boom Herron.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't exactly top running back prospect.
Oh, and I really loved Boom Herron in the fourth round. I mean... No,
absolutely, yeah.
You just got to be realistic with these things.
Yes, they did get Brandon Weeden.
And T.J. Yates.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So anyway, Ezekiel Elliott goes to the Cowboys. That's a great pick. He was one of the guys that I would have loved to fall to number 8.
Yeah,
and that's not Buckeye homerism. I really do like the Buckeyes, but Ezekiel Elliott is I think, was one of the few guys in the last 5 years of Buckeyes.
Oh yeah,
it's totally worth it.
Also, one of the few guys in the last few years. There are very few just first-round running back prospects. I mean, it's either a sure thing like Gurley or Elliott, or you're dropping into the later rounds when you think you can find a diamond in the rough sort of thing.
So then the first real shock, back-to-back Buckeyes. Cardale Jones goes number 5. No. Jalen Ramsey goes to the Jaguars.
That was on Dylan's draft board yesterday.
Which is another really great pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Ramsey, just a great NFL prospect. You can't argue with it.
No, at this point... And this pains me to say, at this point, anybody you pick up in this area should be good unless you're the Cleveland Browns and you find a way to ruin this area.
Right, a la Justin Gilbert or whatnot.
Yeah.
So then the Ravens, the awful, hated, the most miserable team in the history of football, Baltimore Ravens.
They actually picked a guy that I hadn't really studied much about and is an offensive lineman, so while I do hate him now,
oh yeah,
he's not a very visible person to hate, so that's good.
He could have been my next door neighbor and given me candy as a child for Halloween.
Yeah.
Although that would make him pretty old. I would still despise him now that he plays for the Ravens.
Yeah, but now he's just done...
That's why my standard response when anybody talks about Paul Kruger is a Raven.
Former Raven, but fine.
Raven.
Don't make me call Andrew, because I'll get him over here, and he'll be on my side on this one.
What's a Raven ever done for us? Gary Baxter. What's the name of the running back? Jamal
Lewis. Yeah. He gave us one good season.
Yep.
And he was 94 years old.
So you're saying he teased us. Got it.
No, I'm saying he was 94 years old.
All right, so after them, the 49ers... DeForest Buckner, defensive end, Oregon. Another Oregon, another pick you just can't argue with.
Nope. He's going to go in and be a starting defensive end.
Which brings us back to number 8 and the Titans. who selected, as we talked about, Jack Conklin. The Bears took an outside linebacker, and we're not going to go every pick. I think we'll probably shut it off now for a little bit.
Yeah, we got to wait for news to happen.
Cleveland Browns traded to 15. So
here's a question while we're killing time.
We're going to kind of wait.
Do you think they have a specific player targeted and they think they could get him at 15? Or do you think they like having the extra picks and they'll see what's there at 15? This is a pure opinion question.
Okay, here's what I think. I think that at number 8, they had, let's say, so they jumped from 8 to 15, right? They dropped 7 spots. So I think they had 10 players of value slotted in those. I think they had 10 players left that were worth more than the 15.
Yeah, okay.
Or pick your number.
Yeah.
I think they had a certain number of players more than whatever it was going to be slotted in that 15. And so I think that the value chart in their world said, go ahead and trade down.
Well, I definitely think that the Miami deal that everybody was talking about of dropping from, was it 8 to 11, kind of disappeared off the table when Ezekiel Elliott got picked, because everyone said that's who Miami was targeting, or was it 13? I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, that was the trade.
Dolphins were at 13.
Everyone was talking about the Browns are going to trade down to 13 with Miami and then pick up whoever. But once that happened, I guess Miami went, well, later, and so they had to find somebody else to dance with.
Well, and at this point, we could make a quick prediction, and then, in 5 seconds when we come back live, you'll know if we're right or wrong. But no, I think it's I until proven otherwise, I'm just going to guess it's either Paxton Lynch or Laquan Treadwell, and we'll see. This is my fan prediction. I'm hoping for Laquan Treadwell. Okay. It's like a podcast within the podcast.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah, I'm hoping for Treadwell. We shall see.
And we're back on the podcast. The Cleveland Browns actually made a selection.
They did, and it's a receiver.
And we're going to go live on Facebook at the same time. We were expecting Laquan Treadwell, but the Browns selected Baylor receiver Corey Coleman, who's 5'10", and apparently like super duper 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 fast.
Stop me if you heard this one, but stop me if you've heard this one, but didn't we try the short, fast receiver route?
So, we're now live on Facebook for anybody who wants to watch.
Yeah, do you want to watch?
I don't know if anybody's watching.
Huh?
Do I have to hit the finish button? How does this thing work?
I think that would be when you're done.
Yeah, so anyway.
2 viewers.
So the Cleveland Browns make their selection. Dave and I were kind of thinking it was going to be Laquan Treadwell.
I was kind of hoping for it.
But it's Corey Coleman, a receiver from Baylor, who is not super duper tall.
No, he's 5'11", which means he's 5'9", right?
Usually that's what it means. He's apparently really, really fast, though. So
yeah, but
he's taller than Travis Benjamin.
I'm taller than Travis Benjamin.
Oh, what else do we know about Corey Coleman?
I didn't know anything about him. I guess he's got great analytics. I'm sure of that.
That's probably true. So anyway, the Browns finally make a selection.
Yeah.
I joked before that they couldn't make the wrong pick if they never made a pick, but apparently they're willing to risk making the wrong pick. They've selected somebody, and
I mean, he looks fast based on what's on the screen right now.
Right.
Here's a good play. It's in the end zone. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so
he just beat the guy.
And honestly, I can't fault the strategy. The Cleveland Browns, even beyond quarterback, and everybody knows they've needed quarterbacks. They need weapons, because the only thing that makes life easier on quarterbacks than ability and talent are weapons.
Wide receiver was a great idea. I don't know enough to say if he's the right one. I don't know. He wasn't one of the 2 guys I had heard of.
Yeah, everyone expected Laquan Treadwell.
Or Doxson.
I guess we've got some comments in here. Did anybody see Corey Coleman coming?
Yeah, and do you think, and maybe this is just me being maybe there's another guy, because nobody's been picked yet, maybe they think Treadwell or Doxson or the guy from Notre Dame. Maybe they think another one of those big guys is going to be there still.
But it's the worst fear for Browns fans where...
Is that another short receiver?
But no, not that. That the Browns are trying to be smarter than everybody else or too cute for everybody else.
Right, yeah, that's a
concern. Always. Even though it's like all new guys, it's always a concern.
It's why not just get the number one guy? Yeah. How about the guy that everybody thought was the best? When's the last time that receiver wasn't the best?
Well, let's be fair though, because this receiver class didn't have that Julio Jones, didn't even have a Sammy Watkins, right?
I don't know. I've been hearing about Laquan Treadmill all year. I'm going to call him Treadmill, but he's not on the Browns. So now we got the Coleman Cooler,
Corey Coleman,
the Cooler.
It's really good for
the Cooler
alliteration.
Yeah, I'm going to call him the Cooler.
I don't know.
The camp stove. How about the camp stove?
So we've been following this draft right along with everybody. I mean, you guys have all been following it too. So now the real question is, are the Browns going to use that first pick of the second round, which is really the last pick of the first round because the Patriots got it taken away? And are they going to trade back up to maybe go after Paxton Lynch or one of these other kind of late first round quarterbacks?
Yeah. Do you think they're going to trade back up or do you think they're going to stand pat? Because, everything's still on the table at this point. And I was, hoping to be able to go to bed at some point tonight.
Well, here's the question that we need to ask. Were people booing at the Cleveland Browns draft party? Were they excited or was it kind of like a head to the side, confused dog face?
Yeah, I don't know which stuff you guys are watching. We know that everything that the commissioner has done has been booed.
Yeah. No, and we talked about that too. When people
Taylor Decker,
another Ohio State player. But when people booed David Stern, it was like a joke.
Yeah.
Because they kind of secretly respected him. When they're booing Roger Goodell...
Oh, everybody hates that guy.
They despise him.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad that the guys who...
It hasn't always been like that, though, right?
It has since Roger Goodell's been there. My favorite is that the fact that the guys from New York who yelled in between when he said the pick... with the 42nd pick of the NFL draft, they yell like in the little gap there. I'm glad those guys made the trip from New York to Chicago. They're the best part of the draft.
Could Jets fans ever be the best part of the draft? I mean, let's be honest.
Some comic relief. Oh, Falcons on the phone. That guy was eating a donut.
Yeah. So the war room. The war room.
We're in our own war room right now.
I don't even know what to... This is the worst possible scenario. Like, you prepare for X, Y, Z...
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Scenario, and now...
but now there's like you said, there's so many question marks. They've got the extra ammo. They've got the extra picks that they can toss around. Do you jump back up and get a QB? Do you get another wide receiver? Because that's not the weirdest thing in the world.
Right. One, for all those who are tuning in now live on Facebook, we're recording a podcast and we're live on Facebook. So if you have anything to say, any comments, we can barely read it. It's the phone's
I can read it. You're just old.
Yeah.
Scott Porter says, Corey, RG3, Duke spreading the field. And what we can't do is reach it to do a thumbs up, so we'll do a manual thumbs up.
The manual thumbs up. I mean, obviously they liked what they saw with RG3 in their training camp session.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's look on our phone live. Let's look at Sammy Watkins' height.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Sammy Watkins.
Should you look at arm length? And I want to know what size hands they had too, because that's a big one, you know.
Well, he doesn't have the small hands of a Donald Trump, but
no. But I mean, the scouting report, the draft report on him is that he's super explosive off the line of scrimmage. He's got 4.37 speed, so he's definitely fast. Played at Baylor in the Big 12. And
I like a big program like Baylor. That's going to produce some good talent.
And here we thought the Baylor connection of RG3 to Josh Gordon was going to be happening. Apparently, no.
It's different. Yeah,
Corey Coleman.
So Sammy Watkins was 6'1",
maybe,
according to his stat, and Laquan Treadwell 4.6340.
Oh, wait a minute, though. Laquan Treadwell had 9.5-inch hands. This guy, Corey Coleman, only has 9-inch hands. We're doomed.
No.
We're doomed.
Does Nike even make gloves that small?
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, I guess that's our summary from here for now, is that it's the right position. We have no idea if it's the right player.
Yeah.
Right position, no idea if it's the right player.
And yeah, I'm not going to declare it wrong, but you are correct. I don't know. I just don't know.
In other words, boo!
Dumb Browns got it wrong again.
All right, so that's it for this Facebook Live.
Well, we got 22 viewers that we can keep.
Yeah.
Anybody got any questions for experts like us?
Well, I'm going to turn off the podcast here.
Fine.
All right, everybody, this is your wrap up. The first round is not over. So technically, the Browns could still trade back into the first round and make a selection of some kind. They sit at 32, which is the number one pick in the second round. So on Friday night, they'll have the first pick. But we're tired, old men, and
Yep.
Sashi Brown said that there are no plans to trade back in. So
I've run it through the evaluator. I don't believe it's a smokescreen.
So we're going to take his word for it. The Browns started the run of wide receivers, though. They really did.
Yeah, and you can't fault them. I mean, they picked the wide receiver they wanted. So any of you...
Right, we already talked about that on the previous section of the podcast. Yeah.
No, I was going to talk about the trade downs.
Oh.
Any of you who are trade down hating, you didn't miss anybody you wanted because of the trade down.
Yeah, assuming the Browns targeted wide receiver all along. I'm sorry I interrupted, Dave. I apologize. It's been a long night.
You know what? We're all a little grumpy. It's late.
Here at Draft Central. No, you're 100% right. Assuming the plan was wide receiver all along, the Cleveland Browns got the first one off the board.
Yeah, and everybody in the Browns organization who has been less bullshitty this cycle than any other time that I can remember has said, he's the guy we wanted all along. We were glad we could get him when we got him.
Well, and let's be honest. Let's not sit here and pretend like any of us know that Corey Coleman is better or worse than Laquan Treadwell or Will Fuller. Will Fuller went before Laquan Treadwell. So did Josh Doctson.
I still, especially after seeing his daughter walk out with him on stage, I would have liked Laquan Treadwell because she's super cute.
Plus, he has 9.5-inch hands instead of 9-inch hands.
Yeah, I don't even want that small hand bastard on the team.
So anyway, that kind of wraps up the Browns' night, at least until they do something to totally negate this and piss us off. We're tired old men. Dave's got to drive home, but thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for following along and listening to us talk about the draft. The Cleveland Browns get, I keep wanting to say Corey Coleman, wide receiver from
the Camp Stove from Baylor.
And we'll see. You know, this is why the Browns hired the offensive staff they hired. This is why they employed the smart people. And you can put that in quotes all you want. They're all from Harvard. But this is why they did that. So they get all those extra picks. They get the number one wide receiver. And we'll just have to see if it's the right guy. And as I've talked about, the difference between drafting the right guy and the wrong guy is like, I don't know what percent, but let's say it's 30 or 40% the actual guy. And the rest is the team that drafts him, doing a good job of coaching him, developing him, making sure that he's got the support systems he needs as he transitions from college to the pros. So these are not like, guaranteed. They're not pre-existing value stocks. They're
no, it's not that you're
developing projects.
Yeah. And you flip the thing and say, okay, we get Treadwell and Coleman goes to Minnesota. Stats aren't going to tell you why one player was better than the other in that situation. It's all about, like you said, situation, other members of the team. Like there's no direct plug and play. Right.
And even as much as I bemoan the fact that the Browns didn't draft Julio Jones,
right? Who
knows what Julio Jones would look like 3-4 years into his career as a Cleveland Brown?
Yeah, exactly.
On his third coach.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, that's it. You've heard all that kind of stuff before. Thanks for listening.
I do want to say that if you...
No, I was wrapping up, Dave.
I know, and I'm putting in a plug.
Oh.
Because I didn't come over here to not have a plug.
I'll just delete this later. Okay,
if you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to listen to the Browns Friday Fumble draft preview because the first night of the draft already has happened, let me let you in on a little secret. You can still listen to it. Actual draft picks will not take away from the content. So go ahead, and if you haven't listened, please listen.
Comedy is evergreen, Dave.
It is evergreen.
And I got to tell you, I'm not going to tear down any walls, but the guests on that show were phenomenally funny. Not to take anything away from you and that. I
was the setup man.
Guy.
I was a setup man.
But your guests were hysterical.
The guests were hysterical, and I encourage you to listen.
Yeah, so go back 2 episodes, listen to the Browns Friday Fumble draft episode, and we'll talk to you next time. It's been the waitingfornextyear.com podcast.